Hey, what's up, guys? Coming to you guys with a quick message. Okay, so if you find yourself in a relationship with somebody who has no communication skills, there's going to be issues. And I can bet you that if they don't want to communicate in a proper way, there's going to be continuous issues. So I'm saying this because communication is key, guys. I'm telling you, if you really love somebody, you have to find a way to communicate with them because how are you guys going to be in a successful relationship if you have no communication? It just goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then no one's never right, which no one's should be trying to be right. Everybody should just be able to speak how they feel without yelling and cussing. Because one thing I'm going to say, once I start cussing, it's bad. My mouth is like a Uzi, a shotgun, and a Tech 9 put together. And I mean that, like, literally. I mean, I don't never want nobody to push me back into that type of communication because it gets me nowhere but angry. It gets me nowhere but makes me say things that I know I'm going to regret later. The way to communicate, and if you're upset at the time, walk away from the situation and your partner, mainly your partner. Please just get out of that situation. Go clear your head for a few hours, come back and try again. But while you're away, think about some of the things that you said or you did or how you feel. You know, think about all of these things so that way, once you get back to your partner, you're ready to talk. You're ready to go ahead and put everything on the table. And there's no animosity or aggression because you come at me with aggression, it's only so much I'm going to take. I have worked on myself over the years. And I'm learning that in order for me to have excellent communication, I need that other person to communicate with me effectively, you know? And so I try talking, but if I'm not getting anywhere with that, I'll shut down. I will shut down because I'm not going to give so much of my energy to where now I'm mad, I'm upset, and I'm ready to end things because I'm a runner. I'm quick to run. I will run in a minute. I'm quicker than Forrest too. I get the hell up out of there. I don't play because I don't have time to be arguing. If we arguing, all we doing is hurting each other's feelings because we spitting venom back at each other, back and forth. Then we really mad by the end of the argument because we done said all these hurtful things to each other. Now how you got to lay down in the bed and look at this person and then you want sex. You know, all of this stuff comes into play and then it start making the relationship deteriorate. You know what I'm saying? And this is for men and women. And I mean this. I mean this. If you really want to be in a relationship, please work on your communication skills. You can't expect nobody to be with you after you done called them a sack of bitches, 55 hoes, and said that they had a dry thing, you know, and or just anything. I mean, you say things like that to people and then you expect them to lay down in the bed with you, kiss on you, hug on you, rub on you, love on you, and cook you some food. Come on now, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen unless you just got somebody that's just as toxic as you are. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, it's important to take time to see if your partner is going to be good at communicating. A lot of people don't like to communicate effectively. That's the problem. It's always, let me jump straight to hurting that person's feelings. And guess what? The minute you say something out of line, may not hurt that person's feelings. It may make them feel some type of way, but you're going to get the reaction that I don't know if you want it or what, but you're going to get that reaction where it's going to be nasty and vile. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody, hey, at this age, I'm 45. I ain't got no time for that. I ain't got no time for that. I keep telling people, I don't know how much more time I got left. You think I'm going to spend it arguing with somebody every day, all day, and whenever? I don't want to argue at all. If we can't talk And I mean, if we can't talk to each other without yelling and screaming and demanding, because listen, baby, I spent too many years of my life defending myself. You think I'm just going to sit back and let somebody yell at me? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I'm like, if you really want this, we need to like communicate effectively. Effective communication is a plus for me. Baby, I will bounce because you can't communicate. That's one of my pet peeves right there. I do not like it. I don't. And don't get me wrong. There was a time when I could cut up, baby. This mouth could be vicious. I'll chop you down with this mouth. You know, but I don't want to be that way anymore. I want to know how to communicate. I know how to communicate, but I'm learning to communicate, you know, in a way to where you can understand what I'm feeling without, you know, us calling each other names and cussing at each other and all this and that. It just gets too wild. I'm not for it. I am not for the shit. I'm not for that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the number one thing, you guys. I'm sure a lot of you guys agree with me on that. I mean, who wants to be with somebody who can't communicate? I mean, you can fall deep in love with somebody, but if they don't have that communication skills to communicate effectively, love only lasts as long as you produce it. You know what I'm saying? The heart wants to be loved. But you can't say you love somebody and then turn around and say, oh, you a hoe, you a slut, you a tramp, you been ran through, fuck you. And you know, I mean, how do you expect for a person to want to be with you after all of that, especially when you as old as you are? You know what I'm saying? So grow up. I mean, if y'all not ready for these real relationships, stop trying to get in them. Because one thing about it is, ain't no real woman or man gonna stay with you if you don't know how to communicate. It's just not gonna happen. It's just gonna be like, you know, that person may take time to try to communicate with you, but just know they're not gonna spend the rest of their life trying to show you how to communicate or to communicate with you effectively if you're not communicating back effectively. You need to learn how to communicate. You don't have to communicate with nobody by cussing at them and calling them out their name, because guess what? Now they don't want to talk to you. So the communication is going to go, it's like flat line. You know what I'm saying? And a person don't want to continuously communicate with a person that keeps doing the same thing over and over either. You know? If you got to tell me you sorry every week because you don't know how to communicate, you don't need to be in a relationship. Period. I'm just being honest. I mean, because unless, you know, y'all high schoolers or teenagers or fresh out of high school, I don't know why in the hell you should be having an issue communicating unless you're just not ready for a relationship. I don't care how old you are. You need to know how to communicate if you want to be in a real relationship. You know? Because you could damage things. You could damage people's heart and the way they look at you. You know, once a person start feeling a certain type of way about you, and then every time they turn around, they have this communication issue with you, guess what? The likeness of you, the love that they have for you is going to start getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I don't care how much a person loves you. If you push them to the edge, no matter what you do, they're not going to stay with you if you don't know how to communicate. Because don't nobody want to be called out of their names. Don't nobody want to be pushed around. I know damn well I don't. You know? So that's all I'm saying. If y'all don't want to be in a relationship, or if y'all don't want to communicate effectively, stop getting into these relationships if y'all ain't ready for them. Just stop it already. It's stupid. Who does that? I mean, get alive, grow up. And I didn't mean to come harsh as I did, but you know, sometimes you just got to gut punch these bitches because they don't understand. I'm not calling nobody no bitch. I'm just talking in general. I just feel like, damn, you know, communication is deep for me. It is, you know, and maybe I could be being a little pushy. Y'all let me know. But I do know that communication is key. Okay? Just know, if you want to be in a relationship, communication is key. And you ain't always right. And the other person ain't always right. But everybody is okay and entitled to have their own opinion. It's okay. Y'all not going to always think the same. You know? You're not going to always think the same. But don't push with the kindergarten communication now. If you don't know no other words than bitch and hoe, don't even talk. Just go find you somebody on your level and stop dealing with the real people. Because, hey, the real people is tired of dealing with y'all and these little childish-ass games that y'all want to play because y'all don't know how to communicate. Get it together. Thanks for watching, guys.